Only major breaking news story. We also have now video and audio of Nancy Pelosi in the moments after people broke into the Capitol on January 6th, saying they knew that she said this, they knew that she said it was her fault, and they just got rid of the video and the audio so that you would never see it when they did that January 6th committee, prime time, hiring Hollywood producers and news producers to put it on during prime time right before the midterm elections. So now
I'm okay. I'm grateful. I'm just happy that they're alive. That's just the main thing. I'm happy that my kids are alive, so I'm fine. I don't have to plan a funeral. So I've lost a kid before, so I don't want nobody to die, but certainly not kids. My kids are messed up for life. So they just changed my whole life as well as theirs. I can't work for kids, they can't go to daycare. I did have one kid that got hit almost 5 times. Like, it's serious. This is not a game. So, and I'm really upset about them having a bond. I don't care if it is $1 million. They shouldn't have a bond at all.
What made you run to that action?
I'm a father, and I actually lost my son, my oldest son. There need to be more people like us, more people like just step up to the plate anywhere, because it could have been anybody.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Hope y'all having a good day or night wherever you are. Now, I do these stories to show the consequences and downfalls in life when making bad decisions. Now, this crime story is about a father and his 4 kids shot during a road rage altercation on the interstate in Memphis, Tennessee. Now, we can agree to disagree, but in my opinion, there was 2 people that made bad decisions in this situation: the shooters and the father. Let's go. Now, these are the 4 little kids that were shot along with their father, an incident that was caught on camera on the interstate in Memphis, Tennessee. Now, even though this is a sad situation, the good thing about this is that no one lost their life. Now, these right here are the suspects that allegedly did the shooting. To the left, we have 18-year-old Lorenzo Watson. And to the right, we have 21-year-old Kendrick Ray. Now, as we get into this story, it has a little twist to it because Kendrick Ray is a part of a high-profile case involving police officers that was a part of the Scorpion unit that was being charged for the death of Tyre Nichols. Now, when you think about this case involving an 18-year-old and then a guy just 21 years old, they're out here with guns just being reckless. First thing you think about is, where are the parents? Yes, nobody is perfect, and some of these kids are going to go out there and do what they want to do. But it's just an ongoing cycle of this happening over and over and over again. And at some point, something got to change. These kids at a rapid rate is out here committing crimes and throwing their life away, with no regards of no consequences of nothing. Now, Kendrick Ray, it's almost like he's been on a crime spree without even thinking about the fact that, hey, if I do this and I do this, I can go to jail for 20, 30 years. But most of these guys get burned and they get back out, so they do it all over again. Now, Kendrick Ray, he, according to reports, supposed to be a witness in a high-profile case involving the Scorpion unit. If you don't remember, that was the police force of like 5 or 6 officers that was charged with the death of Tyre Nichols, and the whole thing was caught on camera. Now, Kendrick Ray, according to reports, allegedly had an encounter with the Scorpion unit back in 2022, and his charges were basically thrown out. But a week before this road rage incident, Kendrick Ray was charged with carjacking and shooting a woman in front of her kids on South Parkway at a gas station in South Memphis. But on June 11th, 2024, a father and these two suspects would get into an altercation all because of not letting the car over. Because as they was getting on the interstate at I-240 in Memphis, according to reports, the father wanted to get over, but the suspects did not let him. And that happens sometime when you're on the interstate. Now, as we get into this story, you're going to see that the father did something that made these guys feel like they had to retaliate.
A road rage incident where shots were fired into a car with a dad and his 4 kids inside. What made you run to the action?
I'm a father. And I actually lost my son, my oldest son.
According to an affidavit, Memphis police responded to a shooting on I-240 near the Poplar exit. The affidavit says the dad was trying to merge onto I-240 from Mount Moriah, but a gray SUV was blocking him. Once he got over, the affidavit says the dad made a hand gesture. That's when the gray stolen SUV slowed down, changed lanes, and opened fire.
Maybe 15, 20 at the most. And we thought one of the bullets had hit the car because we heard something hit the car.
The dad was shot in his butt, and 2 of his kids were shot in the arms and legs, another in the back. One of his kids was shot 5 times in their stomach.
Need to be more people like us, more people like just step up to the plate anywhere, because it could have been any better.
This is where the heroic efforts of Marcus Ross and Diamond Holder come into play. They were stuck in traffic on I-240. When they heard the shots, they stepped in.
And we were telling Dad to get in the truck so we can rush him to the hospital. He was like, man, I got more kids in the car. So I pulled my car up to his car, put him and the kids in the car.
Holder was the man seen in the viral picture carrying one of the children to a vehicle.
I really didn't know I did it, honestly. Like, I didn't know I did it. When I came to my senses, I was just running back with the boy, and I just knew we had to keep it. We had to go and finish it out. We got to go and get it done.
And they did. All 4 kids that were shot, along with their dad, were moved into their vehicle and taken to the hospital. MPD says the suspects, Lorenzo Watson and Kendrick Ray, were captured after a police chase and a crash. While searching the stolen SUV, police found a handgun, an AR-style pistol, and a Glock with a switch on it. Ray had outstanding warrants, including attempted first-degree murder.
Records show Watson does not have an adult record, but is now facing 14 felony charges, including 6 counts of attempted first-degree murder and intentionally evading arrest in an auto. Our camera was on the scene as his alleged accomplice, Ray, was taken away on a stretcher and put into an ambulance. The 21-year-old has not been convicted of any crimes, but records show he was charged with possession of a stolen gun last summer. A report says the gun he had was modified to have a Glock switch, which turned it fully automatic. The DA's office and Ray's attorneys say he agreed to plead guilty to that gun charge. He was out of jail on $500 bail set by a judicial commissioner. Memphis police also linked Ray to a carjacking in South Memphis last week, where a woman was shot in front of her children at a gas station. Fox 13 Investigates found Ray has also been called as a witness in the Tyree Nichols case. Records show Ray was part of a group of people who encountered the Scorpion unit in 2022, including then MPD officers Desmond Mills, Demetrius Haley, and Emmett Martin III. They were among the 5 officers fired in January 2023 after Nichols' death and charged with his murder. Ray was charged with misdemeanors after that encounter, but the case was among dozens involving the fired officers that were dismissed because of the taint of their criminal charges. But some of the people involved in those cases were still tapped to be witnesses in the upcoming criminal trials.
Now, this was a sad situation, and it was a close call, but prayers to the kids and the father and wish them a speedy recovery. But this whole thing right here, to be honest with you, it really could have been avoided. Some of you may not want to hear this, but it's the truth. All of us have a little road rage in us. Now, I'm not condoning, what the 2 suspects allegedly has done. That's wrong. But we can't act like that everybody have a little road rage in them, young or old. Because you see in the reports that when those suspects were driving the Mitsubishi, the SUV, they didn't let the father over who was driving the car. But once he got over, he allegedly made some type of hand gesture to those guys. Now, if we just go with what we normally do in a road rage incident, hand gesture normally sometimes be a finger sign or whatever. But whatever it was, the father engaged with those guys once he didn't get over and he was upset. But here's the thing about the bad decision. Road rage incidents can also lead to people losing their life because you don't know who you're giving the finger sign to. You don't know who you stopping and blowing your horn at, or none of that. This stuff has happened before where somebody was behind someone, blew their horn, honking their horn, just laying on it, and that person got out and shot that person, and that person ended up getting killed. Now, I know in the heat of the moment, we're not thinking about road rage. We're not thinking about what's going to happen. We're not thinking about who is behind the tent or who is driving the car. We're just thinking about at that moment, that person cut me off. This person didn't let me over. Why you didn't let me over? Why you going so slow? And we honk our horns, we give people finger signs, we let our window down and say all kind of stuff, but we never one time think about the consequences that can happen when we engage with people like that. And so the shooters made a horrible decision to sit up here and shoot during 5 o'clock traffic in Memphis. But the father also got to be accountable because why? You have your kids in the back. So if you engage with somebody in a road rage incident, you got to think about putting your kids in harm's way because if you're not prepared to sit up here and be shooting with some suspects and you got your kids in the car, even though they upset you by not letting you over, the best thing to do is you eventually got over, just keep on driving. But we all made the mistake of driving, somebody do something, you honk your horn, you pull up beside them and look at them all crazy in their car, let your window down, try to say something to them, or people throw a finger sign. It happens to you. And in that heat of the moment, you don't know what you want to do. You know who they think they talking to. But to be honest with you people, we really got to learn how to control ourselves when we're behind the vehicle, when we're in the car driving, kids or no kids with you. You really got to start thinking about when you are giving somebody the finger sign, when you are honking your horn, when you putting up on somebody close, looking at them, trying to go back and forth verbally with them, cussing them out. You got to think about yourself. Are you ready to really risk your life over a road rage incident? Just keep it moving, calm down, and just go on about your business. But y'all get in the comments, tell what y'all think about this whole situation. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and share this video. Holla.